This video is primarily focusing on the alertness level of the students while appearing for the board examination. However well prepared you may be for the examination, but still it is very important to be very alert mentally to be able to give your best shot in the examination and realize your true potential. For this purpose, we will now be going through a few important points that we need to ponder upon. First of all, you have to get it straight into your head that the value based questions will never have answers as negative values. The question will either ask you to state any two values being fulfilled or state any two values being overlooked, not fulfilled, ignored. That means in either case, the answer will be a positive value. Your paper has 4 marks value based questions. You have to score full 4 marks in that. You have to remember two things. First, the answer to a value based question will never be negative value, plus the value should be something which can be related to the question, not some other abstract value. The next thing, from always all your teachers have been advising you that you should be drawing diagrams in the board examination to score better. But the next question which comes in is that where exactly should you draw that diagram? My humble advice to each one of you will be to draw the diagram in the beginning of the answer and not where you end the answer. Because you know what happens if I am checking your paper and you are done a question on process of organizing. Say suppose on the last sheet your fourth point has come in. So according to me the answer is complete now. I'll move on to caging, which is on the first page, and give you marks for that. Now when I turn the page, I find that you have drawn a diagram, but I have already marked you. So that is why I emphasize draw the diagram in the beginning of the answers and not at the end. Always draw it at the beginning. What if despite the best preparation I get confused about a question? It's a very much possible situation that you are little confused whether the given case study, the concept which is being asked relates to chapter A or chapter B. Now how to resolve such a problem? One of the possible ways is that if you remember the unit wise breakup, you may just take a few minutes and total out to see. Say suppose if you think the question is probably from staffing or from planning. So just total it out the questions and see where it is falling short of. So that way you can make out to a great extent where exactly the concept that is confusing you belongs to. What should you do if a question in the paper seems to be wrong? First of all, let's accept the fact that the Cbse paper is also being made by humans and to error is human. So such a situation is always possible. Now what do? Attempt it. Say suppose question number 5 you feel the question is wrong. You just write question number 5, you don't write anything there and you leave it blank. At the time of correction, it is decided that the students have to be given marks because the question was wrong. Now how can the person who is checking your paper give you marks where you have not written anything? So always attempt such questions even if you feel they are wrong. Now let's have a look at this question. Look at the diagram. Read the question. Take a few seconds. We will focus only on the part A of the question at the time being. I hope the answer has been thought of by you. Let's proceed further. Did you think it was divisional structure? Think again. It is formal organization. Read the questions carefully. Now let's have a look at another example. All these questions have been taken from in past Cbse sample paper or Cbse board papers. Take a few seconds, read the question. Did you think it was usable benefits? The answer is advertising. So the questions can be deceptive at times. Rather, they will be deceptive at times. That is what higher order thinking skills is all about. So you have to be prepared, very alert mentally while reading the questions at the time. Now let's have a look at another such similar example. Take a few seconds, read the question. Did you read the word not in the question? Read again. This is another pattern which CBSE is following. Rather than asking for the function which is being highlighted, they may be asking the other way, which has not been highlighted or not been mentioned. So here again you are expected to be very alert. Now another thing is there are evaluation based questions in the paper. Now what are evaluation based questions? When the questions are being asked from the same unit, they are known as evaluation based questions. Now this is a question from the latest CBSE sample paper 2017. Take a few minutes, read the question first. Focus on the question which is being asked. Now proceed further. What are the two questions? State one principle of management given by Fayol and one characteristic of principles of management mentioned in the above case. Is that the question? No. Read the questions again. It says state one principle of management given by Fayol and one characteristic of management mentioned in the above case. Now there is a very high probability that children while writing this particular answer may put 1 plus 1 together and write both the principles of management given by the Fayol and also the characteristic of the principles, but that is not required. So I am again and again focusing on one point. Do not lose your alertness while writing the exam. It's very important. Now you know how to write the best answers. Let's have a look. Now here is a question where you have to identify, explain the objectives of management and also quote lines from the paragraph. Actually it's a very easy question because we all are aware that there are three objectives of management. But how to actually put it across in the best possible way? Let's have a look. First you say the objectives of management being fulfilled by real lines are stated below. It is very important to write an opening line. Then you write down the organizational objective, the meaning, the types. Then you quote lines from the paragraph. Similarly, for personal objectives, write personal objectives, write the meaning, quote the lines from the. Likewise, social objectives, meaning, quote lines from the. Wishing you all the best for your exams. Thank you for your patient listening.